The last blade broke outside him. Ren did not hear it as metal. He heard it as a correction ending. Then the shelter disappeared. The men, the hammers, the narrow stone chamber, the broken door, and the marsh beyond the walls. All of it folded into red darkness. There was no pain, and that frightened him. Pain had been the last honest thing, marking his wounds, measuring his exhaustion, and reminding him where his body ended. Now even that had become distant. His injured arm no longer burned, smoke no longer clawed at his lungs, and hunger no longer pulled beneath his ribs. He felt nothing. Then rain touched his face. Ren opened his eyes to find himself standing barefoot in the Wind-Reading Courtyard. Dawn mist curled over rain-dark stone, and water dripped from the black roof tiles in slow, measured beats. Red and black banners hung beneath the eaves, their white feather marks shifting gently in the mountain wind. The training racks stood where they had always stood, and the main hall doors were closed. No fire blackened the walls, no blood stained the courtyard, and no bodies lay beneath the rain. For one breath, Ren believed he had returned. His heart moved before discipline could stop it, and the word, "Master?" crossed the courtyard. But no answer came. Ren turned toward the ancestral hall, unburned and whole, with warm light showing beneath its doors. He took one step, but a bamboo switch struck the back of his knee, dropping him hard onto the wet stone. The pain arrived at once, sharp, clean, and familiar. Your weight moved before your eyes finished lying to you. Ren looked up to see Master Shen standing behind him in a plain robe, his white hair neat and his hands folded behind his back. There was no blood on his sleeve, no wound in his side, and no tired final smile beneath a burning sky. He was alive, and Ren forgot how to breathe. The old master studied his posture, then his hands, and finally the emotion Ren had failed to hide. "Again," Master Shen said. Ren remained on one knee, knowing this was impossible. He remembered the mountain burning, Brother Cao's scream, and watching Master Shen take the hidden blade. He had carried the children through smoke, placed the records into Luo Fen's hands, and sent the feather down the hidden road. He had sat inside the stone chamber while crystal sealed his body beyond reach. The man before him could not be alive. Master Shen lifted the bamboo switch and remarked, "If you intend to kneel all morning, at least straighten your back." Ren rose slowly, his throat tightening as he whispered, "You died." Master Shen's expression did not change as he replied, "That has never prevented you from wasting my time." Ren stared at him. The answer was wrong, yet exactly right. The old man turned toward the center stone and commanded, "Crane root stance." Ren did not move, and the patience in Master Shen's eyes reached its limits. "Now!" he barked. Ren finally stepped into stance, his feet settling across wet stone as his knees bent, his breath lowered, and his shoulders loosened. Master Shen walked around him, the switch touching his ribs, chest, and neck as he corrected his weight, breath, and fear. Ren's jaw tightened. "This is not real," he insisted. The switch struck his shoulder, sending him to the stone. The rain, the impact, and the anger all felt real. Master Shen looked down at him and said, "Then your balance has been defeated by something unreal." He gestured toward the starting line. "Again." So Ren began, stepping through the crane root forms beneath a gray dawn that never brightened. The courtyard remained empty of other disciples, cooks, and teachers. There was only Ren, Master Shen, and the rain. He completed the sequence repeatedly, receiving strikes and corrections for being too loud, too early, or too proud. The stone grew slick, his legs shook, and his lungs burned, but the courtyard did not change. Ren stopped counting repetitions after the first 1,000. In this sunless cocoon, time lived only in corrections, a heel lowered properly, a shoulder learning silence, or a breath that no longer announced violence. Old Master Shen said again, regardless of success or failure. At first, Run hated him. Then he understood. Success was not a destination, but merely the place from which failure could be seen more clearly. Outside the mindscape, men hammered at the cocoon and tried to break it with fire and frost. But Ren heard none of it. He was learning to step between 12 stone bowls without spilling the water inside. The first time, 3 spilled, and he was struck. The second time, 1 cracked. "Impressive," Master Shen said before striking Ren's ankle. "Now stop impressing yourself." Outside, the shelter changed hands as officers and specialists arrived to study the unstable relic field. Inside, Ren felt the absence of the feather against his ear. He could sense Lo Fun and Jun crawling through roots, mud on their faces and blood on their knees, carrying the records and the feather tied through a vow knot. The physical feather had left him, but the oath and the debt remained. Master Shen appeared beside him, tapping his chest and brow. "You are looking away," he cautioned. "Do not make them carry your attention as well." When Ren argued he should be with them, Shen replied that he was already there. "This is a prison," Ren spat. But Shen disagreed, lifting the switch. "A prison keeps a man from acting. This place has given you work." Ren attacked from grief, his palm cutting toward Shen's chest. But the old man shifted and corrected him for his anger and noise. Ren struck harder, faster, and cleaner, yet every attack failed. Master Shen turned him aside with no more force than necessary. Each word, late, loud, proud, afraid, cutting deeper than the switch. His exhaustion became silence, and Ren finally listened to the rain on tiles and wind beneath cloth. He sensed the change in pressure before Shen moved and for the first time arrived beside him. "Better," Shen said, the word striking harder than praise. Outside, decades passed. June grew old, and the records passed through the hands of tea sellers and dock workers. Ren's body changed as he trained. His fingers lengthened, his back broadened, and his face matured. Master Shen gave him faceless opponents that moved with unfamiliar rhythms. Ren failed until he stopped seeking familiar answers and began to listen for decision itself. Pressure gathering, balance committing, stillness breaking. Outside, the Red Crane became story, then rumor, and finally, scholarship. Reconstructed manuals appeared with reversed breath counts, and museum scanners called the life inside the cocoon residue. The physical feather and the cocoon eventually arrived at the same museum through separate histories, bringing oath and witness back into the same room after 600 years. Inside, the courtyard began to fade. Ren, now a broad-shouldered man with deep red hair, faced Master Shen. He knew his body now, the reach, the weight, the required restraint. "How long?" Ren asked. Master Shen replied, "Long enough to wake." He turned toward the ancestral hall, where darkness waited beyond the open doors. Ren asked if he was ready, and Master Shen's memory eyes told him no, adding, "You carried it anyway." The answer released Ren's need to pretend readiness. Shen stepped into the darkness and signaled for Ren to stop. "A disciple does not carry the dead by refusing to join the living," he said, fading away with a look that was certain and impatient. Ren stood alone as his meridians opened and his heart returned to time. real cold, and a low mechanical hum replaced the courtyard. The cocoon tightened to release him. Far beyond, the feather trembled on its dark museum velvet as the black cord tightened. After 600 years, the oath answered, and the road opened.